All right, let's talk about money. But for this explainer, we're going to reframe your entire relationship with it. Forget about the complex formulas and the spreadsheets for a minute. This is about something way more powerful, your mindset. We're diving deep into the psychology of money because honestly, understanding that is the real key to building wealth.
So, let's just kick things off with a question that I'm pretty sure we've all asked ourselves at some point. You know you should save more, you know you should invest for the long term, but actually doing it? That's a whole different ballgame. Why is there this huge gap between what we know we should do and what we actually do? It's this super common frustration, and the answer isn't in some finance textbook.
And that's because, well, we've kind of got the whole thing backward. Here's the core idea of everything we're talking about today. Being good with money has very little to do with how smart you are, and it has everything to do with how you behave. It's not about math, it's about your emotions, your ego, and how you see the world.
So to really get a handle on our behavior, we've got to go back to the beginning. We need to start with our own personal money story. This is basically where all of our financial decision-making comes from.
I mean, really think about it for a second. The way your family handled money when you were a kid, the culture you grew up in, your own personal wins and losses, all of that stuff literally builds a unique financial blueprint inside your head. And that blueprint controls how you think about risk, how you spend, how you save. What seems totally normal to you might look completely insane to someone else just because your stories are different.
But here's the funny thing. Even with our own unique blueprints, we all tend to fall into the exact same psychological traps. We get overconfident when things are going well. We fall for recency bias, assuming that whatever just happened is going to keep happening forever. And we have this powerful, almost primal urge to just follow the herd, even if it's heading straight off a cliff. Just knowing these biases exist is the first big step to getting around them.
And that leads us to these two huge forces we almost always underestimate: luck and risk. It's so important to be humble when you win and to have some empathy when you see others lose. Not every success story is 100% skill, and not every failure is because of a dumb decision. Getting this helps you stay grounded and be a little kinder to yourself and to other people when things don't go as planned.
All right, moving on to part 2. And this is where we get to one of the biggest aha moments in all of finance. Let's talk about the unseen path to building real wealth.
Okay, picture this. You see someone driving a ridiculously expensive car or living in a massive house. What are you actually seeing? You're seeing their spending. You're seeing them being rich. But what you have absolutely no idea about is if they are actually wealthy.
And this right here is the absolute key distinction. Being rich is current income. It's visible. It's the stuff you buy. But wealth is the complete opposite. It's totally invisible. It's the money you didn't spend. It's the investments that are quietly growing in the background. It's freedom. It's options. Real wealth is silent.
So, if real wealth is invisible, what's the engine that actually builds it? Here's a hint. It's not about being some stock-picking genius. It's something way simpler and way, way more powerful. It's time. Time is the secret ingredient that fuels the magic of compounding. Just take a look at this. In the first few years, the growth from compounding feels kind of slow. It's not that exciting. But then look what happens over the long haul. It just explodes. See, the real secret isn't chasing these insane, risky returns. It's just about getting pretty good, steady returns for as long as you possibly can. That's how patience turns into a fortune.
Okay, so that brings us to part 3. We've talked about the mindset. Now let's get into the action. Because your behavior, that's not just part of the equation. It's your actual superpower.
First things first, we need to completely reframe what saving even means. It's not about punishing yourself or depriving yourself of things today. No way. It's about buying yourself freedom tomorrow. Every single dollar you save gives you more flexibility, more control, and more options to deal with whatever surprises life throws at you.
And that brings me to a really, really crucial idea: knowing when to stop moving the goalposts. Our whole society is pretty much designed to make us feel like we never have enough. But you have to be the one to define what enough actually means for you. That's the one thing that will protect you from taking those foolish, greedy risks that can wreck everything you've worked so hard to build.
And look, at the end of the day, your financial plan has to be something that actually fits you and your personality. You could have the most brilliant, complex strategy on paper, but if it freaks you out and you abandon it the second the market gets rocky, what good is it? The best plan is the one you can actually stick with, year in and year out.
All right, let's wrap this up. We've gone through a lot here, but it all really points to a new kind of financial compass, a simpler, more powerful way to guide all your decisions.
Seriously, if you only remember one single thing from all this, make it this. What you do is so much more important than what you know. Your consistent actions, your patience, your humility, that's what's going to determine your financial success, way more than some complicated theory or hot stock tip ever will.
I mean, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? You don't need to be a financial wizard to win this game. You just have to avoid making huge mistakes and let time do all the heavy lifting for you. Consistency, it's not sexy, but it is the true key to building wealth.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one question. Let's forget about some massive, life-changing overhaul. What's just one small money behavior, one little thing you could start changing today that would get you just a tiny bit closer to your goals? Because that, right there, is where the real journey begins.